Morning, guys. Dr. Kori here. Welcome to your Monday Motivational Mastery session. We're continuing our series on finding your happy. And today's topic is all about overcoming self-sabotage by getting super acquainted with our future selves. So here's my question to you. Have you ever thought about what your future self looks like, feels like, acts like, thinks like 1 year and 3 years and 5 years, 10 years from now? I asked a number of my clients recently to project into their futures, okay? And to imagine themselves at the weight that they set out to achieve when they started with me, and having accomplished all of the other goals that they were targeting when they first started. So many had expressed a desire for things like a reduction in impulsivity, making decisions without thinking, to improve their motivation, to improve their level of consistency in following through with the things that are aligned with their goals, to have a greater level of self-regulation and willpower, and then, and this is a big one, to increase the awareness of how their thoughts affect their behaviors and their emotions. So clearly, they had goals of a physical nature, an external nature, as well as emotional and mindset type of goals. So I provided them all with a document that they could use to describe, as they visualized that future self, what it looked like, to describe the image, okay? And then to answer a few key questions. And I encourage you guys to write these down for yourselves and do this reflection. The questions included, at my goal weight and having achieved what I set out to at the start, okay? What do I look like? What do I act like? What do I do? What types of things do I say? What would you hear coming out of your mouth? How do I feel? What would the primary emotions be that I would experience? What do I think about? And write down the actual thoughts. Don't just say, I think about how healthy I am. Write down the actual thoughts that you have. The idea of this exercise is to get really detailed and really explicit, to create that image and get very much in touch with your future self. So one of my clients, upon receiving this assignment, this is interesting, said, Kori, I love this. And when I saw the document and the questions, though, what I realized is that I don't even know how to answer them. She said, I think I really need to focus on that vision and create it. And yes, that's the whole point, is in order to get in touch with something, we have to get very explicit and detailed and descriptive about what it is, what it looks like, and involve all of our senses as much as possible. And she said, this really made me think about why I expect so much of myself if I don't even really know what I have expectations about. That was a light bulb moment, she said. Is this how we do it, really? We sit, we think, and then we act. And she said, but these are old patterns and they're hard to erase. I want to go back to that light bulb moment question that she had. You guys heard it. Why do I expect so much of myself when I don't even know what those expectations are? Guys, without a vision, okay, of what we'd appreciate the outcome to be, what does it look like? How does it feel? All of the big substantive factors, how do we even begin to map out what engagement in that goal will look like? How do we even know how and where to move into it? So in relation to happy, this is one of the best ways to feel unhappy is to lack a purpose, okay? And what's under purpose? Well, underneath purpose is an understanding of what drives us. And what drives us? Our primary values, our principles, our motives, okay? What our strengths are. And man, so light bulb! As far as the patterns that she talked about, we don't have to erase the patterns. We just have to become aware of them. We have to recognize when they're coming in, okay, when they're sneaking in behind us. And we need to understand them. So when we notice that they're sneaking in, pretend something like peeking over your shoulder and saying, "Hey, I'm here." We can look at them and say, "Hi," and "No, not going there." This is a really great way to begin practicing that level of self-awareness, to be able to recognize when we're moving down a course that's not in our service, that's not in our best interest, just due to the very fact that we've always done it. So, "Hey, I'm here, like I'm going to push you in this direction." We can say, "Hey, no, not going there," and get back on track, okay? Now, when we connect with our future selves, we are more likely to pursue our goals with a sense of enthusiasm, okay? Research has actually been done on individuals who were asked to imagine their future selves, and they were all put in an fMRI scanner. And when asked this question, so when you think about your future selves, what do you see? Certain areas of the brain will light up, okay? For some, the area of the brain associated with self lights up. For others, the area of the brain lights up that's associated with stranger, okay? Now, if you were to guess which group experiences more success, a greater sense of vitality and energy as they're pursuing the things that are important to them, they're more tenacious, they're more consistent, they're more persistent, what would you say? Of course, you would be correct if you said the group whose brain areas that are associated with self light up, okay? Here's the point. We want to connect our current selves with our future selves, and we do that by practicing becoming them now, in the moment, in the present time. All right? So here is where I really want you to pay attention here. I want to share with you what another one of my clients said to me after getting this assignment. He answered those questions in significant detail. And I'll tell you, he said, "Kori, when I did this, it was difficult." Okay? But he made the time, and when he got done with it, he felt unbelievably upbeat, positive, and refreshed, having connected his current with his future self. But I want to read to you what he said. I think it's pretty profound. So here's what he said. When I asked him how his future self would approach his health goals, okay? I said, "What would your 180-pound self do, think, and feel?" And he said, "My 180-pound self would," I'm going to read the list that he gave me to you. "My 180-pound self would read about others who have achieved healthy excellence." Okay? "I would journal about the steps I'm taking to achieve health. The tracking, the monitoring, and adjusting. I would learn the techniques and skills of weight training to do it well for maximum results." This is a guy, he's a number guy. He said, "I appreciate numbers. And health has so many ways to examine numbers. So I would keep great data to view the trends and the problem areas and the strengths. He said I would watch documentaries on those that have achieved a very high level in the world of fitness and health. This is something that I started doing recently. It's powerful. I would be an observer of those that emulate health. Okay, so he wants to watch them, begin emulating them, and he wants to talk to them, wants to get to know them, wants to know how they think, how they feel, what they do. He would surround himself with those types of people. He would practice self-talk, okay? That shows appreciation, that shows positive reinforcement for the commitment that he's making towards his goals. I love this one because it's very practical. I would not dress to hide my body. I would dress to show confidence. Okay, that's becoming the person now. When I walk into a room, he said, I want to communicate excellence without saying a word. That's self-esteem, that's image, that's confidence, but it comes from here. Okay. And then he said, I'd have a quiet, confident view of myself. That comes from here. The thoughts you think, okay, directly impact how you carry your body, how you show up in the world. So guys, I encourage you to do this activity. Go back, write down those questions. If you're a group member of mine, you already know I'm sharing my future self exercise with you. So we will do this together and we'll see what we can come up with to merge current and future. Thanks guys. Have an awesome day and an awesome week.